Yo, what's up, guys? Doe here of Doughslife. Finally getting around to making the Leppa Berry farm tutorial the Doe way. I want to start off by saying I'm not an expert. I'm not the end-all be-all. I'm not here to tell you everybody else is wrong and, you know, Doe's way is the best way. No. I am just here to explain and to visually show you guys how I have been doing it, how I figured out the best way for me to be able to mass produce the berries in a way that makes sense so I can make a profit, so I can make a personal stash of Leppa berries without losing money. And so in this video, I'm going to explain how I set everything up, and hopefully this will help a few people who are thinking about starting a farm but aren't exactly sure how to get started. So some of the first things that we're going to need to start, I use strings. Strings, I feel like, have sped things up, not necessarily only with the farming process. The strings will also help if you're planning to set up multiple accounts, which I'm going to go over. So if you want to set up multiple accounts, I highly recommend you do strings. I actually use Ryuk Mod Manager. It is a very awesome tool that allows you to download all of the mods, including graphical enhancements, strings. There's even a Gek patch for themes that's in there that works currently. And it's very simple to use. I'm going to link that down below in the description in case you guys are curious about that. It is very easy to set up and use, but I highly recommend doing strings, especially if you're going to set up these alternate accounts, right? This is part of where my thought process kind of differs from some people. Some people will say 1, 2 accounts, 3 accounts. There's so many different varieties of ways that you could split the workload between accounts, and there's no right or wrong way. But to me, the only thing that really made sense was to be able to run 2 full patches of Leppa berries every single day. To be able to produce enough seeds, enough berries to make 2 full Leppa patches a day, I needed 6 alternate accounts. Now that seems a little overwhelming. It seems a little extra at the beginning, but there are ways that I made that so much easier. You only need to beat Unova to be able to use the berry patches. So on these alternate accounts, you would need 5 alternate accounts that have completed the full Unova story all the way through N and the Pokemon League. Now again, it seems daunting, but I got it down using some of these methods. I got it down to about 5 hours per account to fully complete the Pokemon League and beat N. That's only 5 hours. Now that's with strings, and that's with setting up the accounts using this Pokemon right here. As you can see right here, this Gyarados right here, this Gyarados has 31 attack, 31 speed. That's pretty much all you need on it, and it needs to have Moxie. Now, Moxie boosts your physical attack after knocking a Pokemon out. Now, you give yourself a level 20 Moxie Gyarados. I know that sounds pricey, but again, this is the easiest, fastest way to get your accounts maxed out. And by maxed out, I mean completing the Unova League. So what you can do is, once you have your Moxie Gyarados, you can always breed it back down, or you could spend, you know, the 100k to buy one for each of the accounts. Either way, a lot of the stuff that you do on one account, you can just pass to the next account to make this simpler. Now, the Moxie Gyarados with a Mystic Water and using Waterfall will pretty much clear the entirety of Unova by itself. Just keep it at the front of your party, Waterfall Moxie your way through the entire region. That is the fastest way to do it that I found. Using strings to skip all of the insane dialogue that Unova has. And that is going to get you all caught up to where you will have 6 accounts ready to mass produce the berries. Now, the reason that you're going to want to complete the Unova region on each account completely is because this right half of the map right here cannot be accessed until after you complete the story. Once you've completed the story, you'll be allowed to come to this area where you will be able to get to the Abundant Shrine. It is the only green dot that you're actually able to fly to. So we'll take you there. And this is where the other half of the berry patches are. So to maximize your load, it is very, very important that you complete the story. Now I'm going to explain a little bit in depth about getting started on making these berries. So to farm all plots of berries in Unova, you would need 468 of the individual seeds. You will need plain bitter, plain sweet, and plain spicy seeds. Or you can also use 156 of the plain and 156 of the very of each kind if you want to plant that way. And that's also going to go into the process that I'm going to explain when it comes to breaking the berries down. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to buy the first round of seeds. Now this is going to be the first and only time that you need to buy seeds off the GTL. Once you've bought them, you will be able to produce way more seeds than you will ever need to replant. In fact, part of this will be reselling the seeds down the line. So let me get started. I'll show you guys the planting process a little bit here. Okay, so talking about the regular berries, so this is going to be the exact same case for the Rost and the Pecha berries. These two berries are going to be the exact same. So to start out, you could start out with 3 plain seeds, right? So that's going to take 468 plain seeds. Or what you could do, and this is actually how you're going to do it after your first harvest, is it's going to be 1 sweet and 1 very sweet. So if you want to do either one to start when you buy off the GTL, that one is up to you. Once you start harvesting and you're replanting, it's going to be 1 of each, and you're going to need 156 of each per cycle. So that is how that's going to work for Rost and Pecha berries. And it's going to be just the same. Just go plant, water, plant, water. Cherry berries are a little bit different, and I'm going to explain those right now. Okay, so this is going to be the last one for berries. So when you're doing both of your cherry berries, both times you're going to need to have the 486 plain spicy seeds, because you need to use the very spicy seeds to grow Leppa berries. So we're not going to be splitting up the plain seeds. We're going to be sending the very spicy seeds and using the plain seeds to replant our entire patch. So those are the differences between planting on all 3 of the different kinds of berries. So obviously you would just take that and multiply it by however many accounts that you end up using, and that's going to be the difference in the planting cycle. And then same thing with all berries, you're going to plant and water at the same time. Now, discussing the watering cycles, these berries are all 16 hours. The Pecha, the Rost, and the cherry berries are all 16-hour berries with an 8-hour wilt time. A full water level is 12 hours. Now, the Leppa berries are 20-hour berries, so you're going to have to find a watering schedule that works for you. If you can wait 11 to 12 hours and let the water gauges get down to 1 and then refill, you only need to do 1 rewater for all of your patches, if you can swing that. If not, you may have to do 2 watering cycles if you don't have the time to, if you can't make that work, that 12-hour period. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to figure out what works for you as far as scheduling. But you do have a little bit of leeway, but the longer that you wait, the less you will yield on your berries. So keep that in mind when you are getting this together. So once you have all of your alt accounts, however many you want to do, this is when you're going to have to start sorting out how you're going to do your berries. Now, one thing that I really like about having this many accounts is that I don't have to split my berry patches up. So each account does one thing. I have 2 for Leppa, 1 for Pecha, 1 for Rost, and then 2 for Cherry Berry. Now, the reason you need 2 for Cherry Berry is because to make Leppas, you need the very spicy seed, not the plain spicy seed. So the distribution is a little bit different. To produce Leppas for 2 accounts each time, you need to have 2 cherry berry plants. Now, with the Rost and the Pecha berries, you get enough seeds from the Rost and the Pecha berries to be able to send seeds to both accounts. So basically, you're gonna harvest, you're gonna buy your harvesting tools, you're gonna write down that price, you're gonna send the seeds to the correct accounts, and then you're going to replant, and that is the cycle right there. So we're going to do that real quick, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Once you've gone and collected all of the seeds from both the airport and the abundant shrine, you should have quite a few berries, and it always is going to depend how many berries, or it's going to vary how many berries you get, because each plant can give you about a certain amount per plant. One thing to note is that if you aren't watering properly, if you're harvesting late, the amount of berries you get can decline, and that will affect your overall budget. You may not have enough seeds to send to the accounts. You may have to supplement from the GTL if you can't stick to the schedule. So it is very important that you do try and stick to the schedule. So once you have collected all of your berries, we're going to need to get the harvesting tools. So you can talk to this guy here, or if you're at the Abundant Shrine, there is a young lady inside of the house that you can talk to who will sell them to you as well. So at 694, we're going to have to buy 694 of them. Now, the total amount spent, you're going to need to keep track of if you want to see your cost analysis. So I'm going to write that down here on my sheet. Gonna write everything down so we can keep track of it. There we go. We're gonna buy these, yes. We're gonna use these. We're gonna do all of them. All right, and there you can see we have 486 of the plain and 217 of the spicy, which means that we will have at least a good chunk of extras from the very spicy seeds. We won't have as many from the plain spicy seeds, but that's okay. So we got this. Boom. Okay, we've written everything down. Now I'm going to take us back to the center here. Okay, we're going to go to the mailbox. I'm going to send mail. I'm going to send these to the main account. The main account is doing Leppa berries. So I'm going to send 156 of the very spicy seeds to my main account that's doing Leppa berries. Boom. Now that that's done, what we're going to do is go to the global trade link, and we're going to sell all of the remaining spicy seeds. This is how we're going to make up some of the money that we spent to get harvesting tools. So we're going to go check. So they're going for about 100 and almost 1800. So I'm going to undercut just a little bit just because I want these to go. So 107K. That is half of the money that we spent on harvesting tools. So that is pretty good. That is pretty good profit margin. I don't think we're going to have very many of the plain spicy seeds to sell, but we're going to try. We're going to see. I don't even think it's worth listing at that point. You are more than welcome to list them at that cost if that is what you feel like doing. And that's where I say, you know, there's a lot of give in the way that I do this. You know what I mean? You can min max, you can sell those 18 if you feel like it's gonna be like 15k at most. So I'm not gonna list them at 15k. I'll save them and I will sell a bundle of them on the next one is what I'll do with that. So that is basically what you're gonna do for each account, right? And so you'll notice I sent the very spicy seeds to the main account so that way we can get more Leppa berries. I've left me 456 is the number that you need, or no, 468. 468 is the number that you need to be able to replant all of our cherry berry plants in each one of these plots. So like I said, each account we're gonna go and we're gonna disperse the seeds to the accounts that we need to, and then we're gonna sell the excess seeds. Now this is all going to stack in our cost and our profit, and I'll show that at the end what we're looking at cost profit wise. But this is basically the rinse and repeat method. And then now that we have the seeds, we're gonna go get those planted in the ground and we're gonna water them, and it's gonna keep going from there. So for the Leppa berries, like I said, you're gonna need the bitter seed, the plain sweet seed, and the very spicy seed. The very spicy seed is the only very seed that you need for the Leppas. And that's gonna plant, and then like I said, hotkey. And then once you've done it, once you put it in once, it's 2 clicks, 1 click, or however you have it set up for your hotkeys, right? So just like that, it's super simple. You just keep going, and you can also plant while harvesting. So that process would look like a harvest and then immediate plant. So it'd just be an extra click, and that's all you would do. So this is for the Leppa berries, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the next step as well. All right, so I just harvested all my Leppa berries, 932 of them, which is about average yield I've noticed so far for the Leppa berries. Now, the selling price for Leppa berries has seemed to come down just a little bit, and that is also part of the reason why I'm saying that two patches a day is necessary. And I'm gonna put the numbers up in just a second showing the cost difference between the two. But one patch of Leppa berries at about 745,000 will cover all of the costs to reharvest, buy the harvesting tools, list everything. That will cover just about all of it, leaving one entire Leppa berry patch for you to either keep yourself or sell for almost $1 million in profit. So that is basically the strategy. So right now I'm going to go over and I'm going to show the numbers on the screen so you guys can see accurately about how much we made in profit or didn't make in profit. I'll have both. All right, guys, so right here, I'm going to show you guys the total revenue and the total cost comparison. So total revenue, that included selling the berries and the excess seeds that we got. We made 1,854,140 PokeMMO. All right, not bad. Now we spent between harvesting tools and listing prices, we spent 1,055,700 PokeMMO. Now that nets us a total cost of 798,440 PokeMMO in profit. That's almost 800,000 profit in PokeMMO from 1 day cycle. So that's close to $1 million for 1 day of work. Maybe not 1 day of work, but 1 day of growing. About an hour and 30 minutes of total working time. You get almost $1 million. Now, if you were going to keep the second half of the Leppa berries, we're going to subtract 1/2 of the Leppa berry profit from our total profit. You would still profit about 52,000 PokeMMO, and you would have almost 1,000 Leppa berries for a shunt if that is the way that you wanted to do it. So the reason, again, that I say 6 accounts, 2 patches of Leppa berries is because you can either make a substantial profit or you can fund any shiny hunt that requires Leppa berries. It's not even shiny hunting. shiny hunting, horde farming, anything that would require you to use a lot of moves and you don't want to be running back and forth to a Pokemon Center, you can use these Leppa Berries just for that. So without spending any more money, you can either hold on to your Leppa Berries or you can make an 800,000 Pokeyen profit every single day by doing and sticking to this method. So a lot of people asked me to break this down, explain it, and hopefully I did. I'm live Wednesday through Sunday on Twitch about 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop in, ask me. I have no problem re-explaining this. And if anybody has any questions or there's any confusion, I will try and clear that up or update the video. I appreciate you guys so much for taking your time and hanging out with me. This is my first tutorial type video on PokeMMO, so I hope you enjoy. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you on Twitch. Peace out.